Mandy and Kelly, thanks for joining us today. What's going on in the trauma department? We've got the holidays coming, and what's going on? What are
Yes, we
some
do.
preventive items that you can share with us?
Well, we want to talk about falls today and
Okay.
also holiday safety.
All right.
We have a lot of falls going on. You don't realize how often we have falls, but we saw about 200 patients last month in the ER with
People
falls.
that had fallen.
Yes.
Okay.
It's easy. It happens easily. You just never know whenever you're going to lose your footing, even outside. There's some things you can do in your home to safe-proof your house and
Okay.
prevent falls.
All right, let's talk about some of those today. Kelly, what are some things people can do in their homes to stay safe?
Watch the area rugs. Everybody loves those little area rugs,
Oh,
but
yeah.
those
Yes.
are big fall.
Trip hazard galore.
Yes.
Yeah.
And especially as you get a little bit older and you start shuffling your feet and not picking them up as spry as you used to, a lot of our older people that fall are tripping over our rugs. And the other one, I hate to say it, where's the little zinger, but the little dogs, the little bitty dogs, especially
We see that a
puppies or
lot.
small dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get tangled up in mama and daddy's legs and they, cause a fall. That happens very easily.
That's kind of why I was smiling and laughing before going, oh, yeah, that's happened. Both the
Yes.
shuffling of the feet and
Yes, and as we
taking
age,
things
we
a little
lose our
more slowly.
strength, we lose our dexterity
Yeah.
and flexible, and we're just a little easier to fall, and we don't recover as easy as we used to.
Yeah.
When you go down, it's harder to recover.
Yep.
And a lot of times, your fall can be just real innocent, but every now and then if you hit your head and you're over 65, especially if you're taking aspirin or a blood thinner, you need to go see the doctor. You need to go to the ER.
Oh, that's great information to have. I did not know that. And
Yes.
that's something, yeah.
Yes, and that's something that we see a lot. That you'll come in with a minor fall. You just bumped your head. You might have a little goose egg. It could be very benign, and you never, really know. But then also you're walking, talking, feel okay, but you might have cut your head. But you're also on aspirin or Coumadin. And need to have a blood thinner like that puts you at a high risk of a bleed in your brain. And so those patients are a high priority right now with us in the trauma services. And we're wanting to really focus on those patients, get them to the CAT scan in time, make sure there's not a bleed going on. And, if so, you just need a stitch or two, no big deal. But that's great.
Would that be something like, would it be the same symptoms of somebody that they have, if they have a concussion?
Yeah.
Similar to?
Yeah, they might have a headache or dizziness or
Okay.
even some of the stroke signs and
Yeah.
symptoms. They might start having some speech problems or mobility problems, things like that, if they
Okay.
start having a bleed in their head.
Okay, so don't let it go.
Confusion,
What
yes.
you're saying is
don't
do
let
not,
it go.
Don't
If
say,
you don't
well,
feel good after you hit your head, don't lay down, go to the ER.
Okay.
Because we see that sometimes. You'll lay down and
Yeah.
think, well, I've got a headache, I hit my head, I don't feel good, which makes sense, but you still need to be checked out because we don't want you to lay down and have a bleed or something bad wrong.
Yeah, and that's something as you age, and I speak from experience on this one, you still see yourself as being capable of
Oh, yes.
doing things that you could do when you were much younger and just say, I'll be fine. But,
Yes.
how many of us are on Coumadin? How many of us are taking aspirin for the heart?
Right.
That kind of thing. So
Right. And
that's
everybody
great
at any
advice.
age climbs a ladder.
Yeah.
We see people climbing ladders, falling off roofs. So
Tree stands are big right now.
tree stands are huge right now. People falling out of tree stands, deer season.
Yeah.
So, we just want everybody to be very safe and cautious, and especially if they're on blood thinners.
Right. Know your limitations.
Yes.
Learn your limitations. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And go see your doctor if you get hurt, especially in your head.
Yeah.
Well, it's actually been a focus of the whole state. One of the new sections of the trauma system is the traumatic brain injury, because we've had so many injuries throughout the state that involve people that have very minor falls and then end up with, life-threatening and even life-debilitating injuries. And, if anybody has a prior stroke or a prior brain injury, or even if you have, trouble with a broken hip and it's healed, but you have a little bit of a limp, those all make you at a higher risk again to fall more.
Sure.
So anybody that has any type of debilitating disease or a process is often more at risk also.
Yeah.
And fall injuries are actually a leading cause of death. In the elderly, fall-related injuries are a leading cause of death.
You fall, you break your hip, you have hip surgery, you get pneumonia from lying there.
And it's just
get a
hard
urinary
to
tract
recover.
infection.
Yeah.
Get the whole system involved. And we unfortunately see so many people that are very independent, even up to very elderly, that are in their 90s even, that are living alone and fall and break their hip, and then are unable to go back home even though they've been very healthy for that age before. It's just a devastating process to break your hip.
It is.
Right.
It is.
And you were talking too, like you said, get rid of the scatter rugs in your home.
Yes.
Just get rid of them.
Get rid of them.
Don't,
They
don't
may be
tack
pretty,
them
but
down.
you
Don't get rid
stub
of
a
them.
toe on them real
Yeah.
easy or break a hip.
Yeah.
Also wear non-skid socks. If you're wearing socks or slippers, make sure they're non-skid and they have some traction to them.
Right.
Some of those prettier ones sometimes are slick on the bottom.
Yeah.
And you tend to slide.
Down a couple of stairs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And a little early now, but getting close when it starts frosting or snowing, especially snowing. We always have a lot of injuries every winter where, they have to go get the Baxter Bulletin or the mail.
Yeah.
And so they go out in the, ice and snow slick sidewalks to go get their mail, and they fall and break their hip or stay out. And every year we have some that stay out in the weather for, a couple hours lots of times.
And they go through all that exposure because there's nobody there that knows that and they probably didn't even put a coat on. Oh, I'm just going to run out and get the mail.
They're out there in their slippers and their nightgown a lot of times.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. What you must see coming through the Klein Emergency Center is beyond belief.
So just be careful as the weather starts to come in. And also, even when you're driving, you get a little bit of dusting of snow on the roads, and it's not even bad. And most of the time it melts off quickly. But we get one little touch of snow on the roads and we have wrecks galore.
Yeah.
So just be careful. Make sure that you're, driving for the conditions and that you're, making extra care for your break time and stuff like that.
Right. And if you find that you're not, if you really know, once again, going back to know your limitations, if you know that your reflexes are not as fast as they used to be, or you're not reacting quite as quickly as you can, there's other alternatives like Kindness Inc. will come and pick people up and take them to their doctor's appointments or groceries. We've got a lot of resources in this area that we could call, you could call upon in order to accomplish the task, but maybe not be as independent as you once were.
Right.
There's a lot of agencies that have the little buttons that you have on the phone, or not on the phone, but on you wear either a bracelet or a necklace. The Lifeline's the one I know, but there are other ones besides the Lifeline that you can push a button and somebody will call and make sure that you're all right. If you fall and can't get to a phone, that it'll still alert somebody to come and help you.
Yeah.
I know my mother-in-law has one of those, and she uses that, and she's fallen a couple times and been able to call the paramedics to come and help her.
Yeah, it's wonderful. We've got one for my husband. Simply because they're, I think it's around $30, $35 a month or something like that, which is, that's worth your life. So it's well worth it.
It is.
Yeah.
And I think there are some agencies that can help with that cost, even on some of the lower income. So something to check out.
And always remember too, one of the biggest resources we've got right on the hospital campus is the Murat Family Education Center for Aging. They have all sorts of resources. And everything we're talking about, they can help you get in touch with somebody for transportation, somebody for the I've fallen and can't get up button, as I call them. So, there's all sorts of things that are available. And as you say, Kelly, you're right. A lot of times it's at almost no cost. If cost is the factor preventing you from getting it, there are ways to usually help you still get what you need. So.
And at this time of year, let's not forget that we're a part of a community and that we're all involved in our community. So if you have an elderly neighbor or, an elderly person living in an apartment next to you, check on them. If you haven't seen them in a day or so, if you haven't seen the activity or heard noises from their apartment, go and check on them and make sure they haven't fallen and that they don't need help, and make sure that, that they have everything they need. It's really important.
That's great advice. Absolutely.
Right. Because we do see that often, that people might fall down. And, you might have just got off the phone with your mom, but she might have fallen down and, they may lay there for 8-10 hours sometimes. And that does cause a lot of problems and makes them sicker, not just a hip injury. Then they're dealing with other issues also and sicker.
Right. Dehydration at that point and who knows what. So.
Have you guys seen the new commercial on TV?
Yes.
I don't even know what the commercial's for. Isn't that terrible? But where they go to the little lady's apartment and decorate. Have you seen it? It's
for Christmas.
For Christmas.
Yeah.
You think they're decorating their own or something. They're acting kind of sneaky, but you wonder what's going on. And she comes in the apartment building and she opens the door and her house is all decorated for Christmas. So that just, it just reminds us
about the kid in all of this. But what the product is, you're right, Kelly. I don't know.
But great commercial, and I'm sure people are talking about it because. And for me, it just made it, brought home that we're all part of a community and that we all need to be interacting and helping each other and making sure that we're doing everything.
You're absolutely correct. Yeah, check on your neighbors. If there's a pattern and a routine, and all of a sudden that pattern or routine is different, you're not infringing on someone's privacy. You're actually doing a great service by just checking.
Yes.
That's a kindness. That's a love. That's something that we all should be doing. So.
Exactly.
But what else is going on in the trauma department? Because I know this is just part of it. So.
Well, we've been doing a lot of exciting things. We got to go to the school the other day. We went to Pinkston Middle School and met with the health class there and talked to them about some texting and driving things.
Oh, wonderful.
Trying to get that instilled in their little brains. I know they're not driving yet. They're 12, 13 years old. But we want to start teaching them earlier and earlier that we don't want to text and drive. We want to drive safely, safety tips to just instill in them. Nowadays, our kids instantly put on their seatbelt, or at least we hope so. Whereas when we were younger, to put on a seatbelt, that was silly. That was only for long trips.
Yeah.
So hopefully,
we're just going to the grocery store.
Exactly.
What could happen between here and the grocery store?
Exactly. So just putting that in their brain right now, that texting and driving, safe habits, for the preteens before they get to driving, we want to start doing that. They were so much fun.
And in case you don't believe this, they're also very willing to tell anything, including my mom never puts her seatbelt on and she always texts and drives. So if you're one of those moms, be aware that your child is at school telling everyone all about it.
Yeah, and you're not being a great influence right now.
Coach Newsom had us in there and they were hilarious. We loved them. We had a great time with them.
Now, what age group is this?
This was 7th grade.
Seventh graders. Oh, that's a wonderful age.
We even talked about things that they can do, like, if you're riding with your mom and she's answering the phone or checking the, you do that for her. You text dad and tell me you're on your way instead of or your sister or whatever, So
great idea. Things that they just may not think of. And,
right. Oh, and they were smart. They had excellent questions. I mean, they were really thinking about what we were talking about, talking about their own personal car accidents or whatever. I mean, they were just very interested in the health field, which is great. Also, we'd love to get that little seed planted right now because we're all going to need nurses and doctors to take care of us when we're sick and old. So they were a lot of fun.
We're interviewing you kids right now.
Exactly. We wanted to start, recruiting.
Let's talk some more about it right after we take a short break. We'll be right back. Don't go away.